Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another campaign. We're on number 4 out of 6, getting all these new campaigns started. Of course, then we'll be following up with many of them while trying to get other things going, but hopefully this daily content is something that will give you guys something better to do than just wandering while I'm between lore videos, because let's face it, that's what most everybody's here for. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Now, I'm going to be playing as the only person I have not yet played, which is Helman Ghorst, the necromancer from the Sigmar's Blood campaign. He's got some pretty disgusting effects of his entire army comes with poison attacks, and he improves casualty replenishment rate across all vampire count armies, which is just stupid. It's so stupid. So anyway, let's get started.
War is eternal. As inevitable as the grave. The old world, the rotting corpse within. Some fools think it worth saving. But there are beings who wish to bring about an eternal night. I am a bearer of lore to those with such power. Vampire counts of the von Carstein bloodline. My master, Mannfred, has returned from the dead once more. He marches on the von Carstein ancestral pile of Castle Dragonhof. For I have brought him ill news that a master necromancer has claimed the fortress as his own. Mannfred must retake his ancient stronghold, and either destroy the usurper within, or bind him to his will.
Alrighty, Mannfred von Carstein has revealed himself to the world once more. His first act was to retake the ancestral home of his bloodline, Drakenhof, and drive from it the hapless necromancer Selig von Kruger. With his capital secure, Mannfred has retreated deep into the vaults to seek out lost lore and make dread plans. He has tasked his faithful servant, the necromancer Helman Ghorst, to prepare Sylvania and beyond for his coming. Which this is actually correct. This is not one of the fudged, not fudged, but repurposed lores. Helman Ghorst is actually just an attendant, an acolyte even, of Mannfred. His promotion to Legendary Lord was actually quite a surprise to me. Because in Sigmar's Blood, he's just he's a hero necromancer, and he's not even a good one. He's actually pretty terrible. Like, he's not able to randomize for his spells like most characters can. He comes with 2 known spells because of a book that Mannfred gives him, which they repurposed in this as being one of the books in the Gash that actually makes him, like, scary and stronger. But in the Sigmar's Blood book, he was not that great. He almost always dies the first scenario because the Hammer of the Witches will usually just obliterate him in the corpse cart turn 1. It's quite a challenge to keep him alive. But he's pretty damn useful if you can manage it. His corpse cart's really good. He is the best corpse cart in the game because it's a higher strength. Because he makes good use of his brothers, I guess. Ghorst is actually one of my favorite kinds of necromancers because he's like the tragic story necromancer. Most of the necromancers that are playable in Warhammer Fantasy, it's not known why they became what they are. Like, we don't know what Kimmler was before he turned into a necromancer. He's just kind of always been one. Actually, Kimmler's really freaking old.
Castle Drakenhof is yours, my lord necromancer. The ancestral home of the von Carsteins. You are the arbiter of their success and at the vanguard of their conquests. The Templehof brood control the lands to the north as far as the River Ster. They cannot be suffered to endure, lest they threaten your strength. Raise your forces, march on the foe, and show them true terror. The resurgent von Carsteins have chosen you, Master Necromancer, to conquer in their name. What darkness could you seek? What horrors could you awaken? All you need do is feign obedience. Let the graves open like wounds in the very earth, Master Necromancer. Let the undead spill forth and conquer. Let the last words on the lips of the fallen be Helman Ghorst.
The Templehof brood must be crushed in battle before they are able to regain their strength. Another victory against Van Kruger's armies will leave his lands ripe for the taking. One of the things I actually really like about the lords that came with the DLC is that they actually have
magic is mine to command.
That the advisor, like, he doesn't say like, oh, you need to go here and go here at the beginning, and doesn't give the canned speech that he gives all the starting characters. He actually gives like personalized dialogue, which isn't a huge deal, but I thought it was cool. All right, so here we definitely want. I think we'll definitely take the gold shaft. There's a mod I'm thinking about getting pretty soon, which changes the look of the pictures so that it actually like evolves as you get them, which I thought is pretty cool. So I might end up getting that. But
My cruelty knows no limit.
yeah, I start off with the corpse card. That's freaking awesome, and the dire pack. All right, great. Let's go ahead and attack. If you're joining me for the first time for one of my campaigns, which is the 4th one I have going at the moment, the only rule that we really have is that we have to win every single battle. And I think the other rule I'm going to state that I've not mentioned yet on any of the other videos is that I want to do the long campaign victories, not the short. That way we really get lengthy campaigns. The only reason we might go for like the short victories if another DLC drops that provides like some more crazy awesome content, but if it does, we would only finish up with like the affected race. So for instance, if they were to drop new Beastman units, I wouldn't do anything, but if like a new Beastman Lord dropped and he came with new units, sort of like the Grim and the Grave did, then I would probably wrap up the Beastman campaign really fast so we could jump to the other Beastman character. Because I'll tell you what, I look at a lot of the other Total War Let's Plays, and a lot of them get up to just an absurd amount of episodes, and I'm assuming it's because they're fighting every battle. But a lot of them are like an hour long. Like, I can understand if it was like only 30 minutes long, but like I played a full Kazrak campaign for the short campaign victory, and it lasted 3 episodes and a total of like a little over 4 hours. I think it was maybe 5, but you know, like that for me, I could easily do in one sitting. So I'm trying to stretch a lot of these out more. That way I'm able to have day-to-day content, because this is probably the easiest thing next to playing tabletop battles, but I feel like tabletop is harder for people to follow. This is less than half. Let's gamble. Awesome. Alright. I really, really love the new Vampire Count units. A corpse cart is actually something I'm really fond of taking in tabletop. Oh look, they fixed the bug with the zombies. They used to have a bug where all the zombies would like float like 5 feet in front of the corpse cart, and it was really goofy looking. Because it's like, oh, this corpse cart's floating. And of course the Dire Pack, which is a unit of dire wolves that is not nearly as degraded, which I love. Regiments of Renown are so fantastic. I kind of wish they would update the original starting lords, like starting units, to give them each like an appropriate regiment of renown, but what you gonna do? Alright, zombies in front to absorb the enemy charge, and then these guys on the side so we can go around the flanks. Corpse guard in the center for the magical buffing. Ghorst, same. And I've got poison attacks galore. Does he have anything I really need to worry about? Nope, he's got some dire wolves, but my dire wolves are better. So we're just going to head over there, but we're going to take our time because the corpse cart has this lovely Vigor Mortis ability, which buffs the melee attack and melee defense of everyone within pretty good range. Yeah, he's affecting everyone. And then, because this is Helman Ghorst's army, everyone should have poison attacks as well. Which they do. Which poison attacks are fantastic. It's not as good as they used to be. I feel like it used to be better than that. I think they debuffed poison a little bit, which is actually okay with me, because the old poison rules used to be like... I remember poison doing like melee defense and melee attack. Like, it did like stupid amount of stuff that was completely unnecessary. Excuse me. Had to blow my nose there for a second. Alright. But it's really nice to finally be getting back into this game. You know, it's hard to be as passionate about making lore videos when you're not like actively playing the game that made you really start. I mean, finding out Total War Warhammer was coming out is what started my YouTube channel in the first place. He doesn't get a charge bonus and I do. That's bad for him. I will also buff my wolves. Well, heal them. But mine should have a big upper hand, just because they're just better. Because they're level 9, first of all, because they're a regiment of renown. Alright, we're going to fold these guys around. Same with these guys. And Ghorst and the corpse carts are going to hit the main line. Alright, these direwolves collapsed. So we're going to run up behind these guys. Let them have it. Send in the Grave Guard. Yeah, I always... If there's one thing that sort of bothers me about Ghorst, is that they sort of made him into like a... They sort of made him into like the white special character, despite the fact I feel like his thing should have been zombies, and like zombies should have been Ghorst's thing. Like the corpse guard is his special unit, all that stuff. You know, like he buffs mortis engines and corpse cards. I thought that was cool, but they also made him really good at summoning whites. And he starts off with a white unit, which I feel like is Kimmler's domain. And instead, Kimmler was made into like this weird thing about like, oh look, ethereal units. And it's like, but Kimmler's never done anything about ethereal units, or with them for that matter. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and impact my dire pack into another part of the line. Behind, which should pretty much do it. We'll bring the skeletons in on the Vampire Lord. I'm going to fire off a nice big spell right here, which will hit my entire army. It's no big deal if I miscast, because I'll hit myself with it. But I didn't miscast, so that's awesome. And the Corpse Guard, of course, trying to get involved in the fighting, which it's a little lackluster when it comes to combat. Definitely not one of the superior units, but it's a buff wagon after all, not a chariot. But this guy should get absolutely torn apart now. I'll run over here myself to help out. And they're all collapsing. He should start collapsing pretty soon.
Helman Ghorst.
Problem with vampires. They're just tough as nails a lot of the time.
Off the ball.
Dude's taking virtually no damage. One thing that they added in this patch that affects the vampire counts pretty much exclusively is the regen cap. Which, if you haven't seen it yet, there's this little blood drop here, and what you do is you scroll over it, and it shows how much regeneration that unit gets for that battle. And the amount goes up or down, or the amount basically depletes. So, like, my dire pack is already, look, I've already run out of regeneration, so I want to be really careful with how I use them. Whereas my skeletons here, like, they're only halfway, so like I can be more aggressive with them. I need 11. So one thing we definitely need to do is we need to get my grave guard up on him and get the zombies away from him, because the zombies at this point are just going to be like feeding him. I don't think he has. Oh, okay, he just up and died on me. All right. His morale must have broke while I wasn't looking. Well, the dire pack did really well. I like them more than, I think if you start as Volkmar, you get the Tattersouls, which, they're alright. Like, the thing is that they are a more defensive unit of, flagellants, but they're not really that great. They just have a little bit better melee resistance. Do we want to dominate? Yeah, let's dominate. Alright. Feather Foe Torque. The feathers of many beasts dangle from this torque. Its enchantments allowing the wearer to strike at flying creatures with savage fury. And Van Kruger has left Eschen wide open to attack. Strike now and punish his error.
Corpse master.
Alright, I leveled up. And this guy's got a couple of new things. Namely, he has... Let's see, where is it? Diabolical Presence, which is what buffs his Mortis Engine and all that stuff. Morbid Reunion is stupidly good. Like, he's just got really good stuff. At really low levels, too. Well, thank God they didn't make him Loremaster. I noticed CA was getting a little trigger happy with the whole Loremaster thing. Alright, I'm actually not going to move around a whole bunch because I'm playing vampire counts. So I'm actually going to go for Invocation. I'm actually going to go for the spell tree first. Okay, he's in range of Templehoff, which I could probably beat in a fight, but I don't want to necessarily play that aggressive just yet. So I think we're just going to go ahead and start moving for Eschen.
I will.
We're going to go ahead and break down this building. I don't think I'm going to need it. I'm just going to raise what dead I can to build up my forces, and that should be enough. Technology. Gosh. I think they put... Where do they put corpse carts? I think they put them into the Lamian tree, didn't they? For some freaking reason. Yeah, the Lamian tree is, like, super important now, which I'm kind of not a fan of. Like, I know they wanted it to be big, but the Lamian tree is, like, freaking massive. I kind of wish they had put the corpse carts, like, into the zombie tree and put the Mortis Engine into the ethereal tree, and instead they just, like, threw them over here for some reason. But what are you gonna do? Alright, so he's moved into Eschen, which is fine. Can I raise dead in Eschen? Yes, I can. Alright, so we've got a much larger army to attack him with, and we're going to go ahead and pick up a Defiled Cairn so I can get more Corpse Carts and Crypt Ghouls.
Destroy them.
And we're going to punish Van Kruger for defying us. That being said, I am glad to see lesser characters getting legendary lore positions. I mean, it's just bonkers at this point what they're willing to make into a legendary ward. I mean, between the White Dwarf and Ghorst, I mean, that's like a legend that was never really playable as a character in tabletop, unless you were using a supplement, and a character who was so tiny and minuscule that you could only knew about him if you had a supplement. You know, these are characters who never really showed up as playable in core rulebooks for different reasons. You know, Ghorst was too much of a small fry, and the White Dwarf was too much of like a god tier spirit guy. Put the Grave Guard out on the flanks. Corpse Guard right in the center.
Helman Ghorst.
And the Dire Pack.
Rise, rise, rise.
If I can, I'd like to lure out his dire wolves. I don't want to fight them too close to him because he's going to be able to buff them. But if I can, I'd like to lure him and the Fellbats out. Come play with me. Okay. Well, we have his attention now. See if he's gonna dive down on me with the Fellbats. Looks like it. I'm gonna go ahead and charge. And he's gonna send in the Fellbats. Throwing a little buff their way, which should keep them stable. I hope. No. They're not able to hold against that rear charge. We'll pull them back. Oh, those units are dead. Go down another one. This should start stabilizing. Yeah, I'm actually going to deal with this. I'll let my main army keep... let's actually... We're actually going to go ahead. We're actually going to hold our ground and deal with this.
Helman Ghorst. Swiftly.
This should stabilize the Dire Pack. Yeah, don't let those bats get away.
They will come when I...
So, like, I would like to heal the Dire Pack back up to full so I could continue to be really aggressive with them. But... it keeps... No. I'm selecting... Yeah, but see, they've already maxed out their healing. So I just wasted magic right there. On accident. So now I've got to play kind of defensive with them from here on out. Because... they can't heal any more than that, so they're at risk of getting into a position where they could potentially be in trouble. Okay, this did not save the formation very well, did it? So, well, it saved half of it. Alright, that's actually... Oh. Let's just engage. I'll have reinforcements coming in from this side. Get the corpse cart right up in there. All the regen. Alright, there's a bigger fight going on over here, so we're going to pull the corpse guard out. Oh, easy, goose. Vampire VC versus VC fights are always so funny because they're just basically giant like slugfests. Like everyone's just beating the crap out of each other. There's not a whole lot of finesse to vampire count battles, unless like both armies are running like a ton of flyers, in which case there might be a little bit of intrigue. But for the most part, it usually ends up being pretty boring. Yeah, just keep fighting there. Surprised my skeletons are losing this fight. Oh, that's because it's a general unit. But still, I figure with my dire pack, they have it pretty well in the bag. Alright, let's send those zombies in. This corpse guard's making sure this fight stays pretty easy for us. Send these zombies in here. Dire pack finished up these people. So we're gonna go ahead and bring them around on these zombies. I'm tempted to throw them at Kruger, but I'm not sure how that fight would go because they're still just direwolves. But zombies, on the other hand, zombies are very manageable. Okay, I've thrown quite a lot of healing on my side. I'm gonna go ahead and throw some healing over here, which ought to top those guys off pretty nicely. And I didn't blow up. Nice. Alright, let's bring the corpse guard over here. I'd really like to have 2 of these, but... Alright, he's finally getting involved in the fight. I'm gonna head over myself. Alright. And that's game. Yeah, it took him a while to crumble. Great job with the tire pack. Vampire count fights are fun though. Like I enjoy playing the vampire counts and playing against them because they just offer something really different because they're the only army right now that's unbreakable. You know, an entire army of that, unless, you know, like, I guess you could take a flagellant army as the Empire, but, or a Slayer army as the Dwarves. Those don't tend to be very effective, though. Alright, I've captured Eshin, which unlocks regular questing. This precious stone that glows at the break of every dawn. Its bearer is said to be protected by an invisible field. And we've unlocked the Tithe and the Konigstein Stalkers.
Taint of undeath is spread by your conquest.
Yeah, you say the same thing every time. Alright, and I will take Forbidden Scripture. That is just stupidly good. An expeditionary force of soldiers have been sighted at Hel Finn. The Empire will regret deploying troops this far from home. The vampire counts must crush their enemy, drive the terrified survivors from your lands, and raise their dead into your service. I am not going to pick up the Konigstein Stalkers, but I will pick up the Tithe. Alright. Yep, and we're okay with this being here. Let's go ahead and upgrade that to level 2. I will pick up some skeletons, and I will drop a unit of zombies. A little bit of passing around. And we will go ahead and recruit a new lord. I would really like... Oh, yes. I'm going to get the Ghoul Whisperer for a Ghoul King. Oh, he can actually talk. That's a surprise. I'm sure you will. Alright. When I play vampire counts, I tend to find that it's better just to grab Sylvania and then play a very
Death is only the beginning.
raid heavy game. And I guess when I say that, I mean that like you actively raid a lot of places and just fill up on dark magic. Alright, and this time I didn't fall for the trap. Not the trap, but I didn't make the stupid mistake I usually make where I end up like, most of the time I end up accidentally like, I take Eshin and then I come over here, take Waldenhof, and I leave Eshin undefended, and then it gets captured, and it always makes me mad. So this time I'm going to make sure to put that Ghoul King there to defend it. I'm so happy Ghoul Kings are in the game. Ghoul Kings are one of my favorite tabletop general types. Outside of my like main armies, I've never played Vampire Counts a lot. Like I've played them quite a bit, but I very rarely took them in any sort of tournament format. I only went to one tournament ever in taking the Vampire Counts, and I did run as Strigoi Ghoul King Lord, and it was not the best list. But you know what? I had fun. And that's what matters. At least unless you're playing for like realsies. But it was like a $10 entry fee tournament. It wasn't like the big ones like Lone Wolf where you have to pay like almost $100, if not more than that sometimes. And like you have to have a fully painted army. And like I took Vampire Counts to a small tournament that was like $10 entry fee, and you know, goofy. Whoop, 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 whoop. Stop. 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 Okay, now go. Everybody always has fucking Fellbats. He's got a lot of stuff. Alright, we're definitely going to use the Dire Pack defensively, so that they don't fucking like get destroyed by the lack of regen available for them. That being said, I think the regen cap, I actually think it's a good thing. At first when I heard about it, I kind of cringed, because I was like, but you know, it's so fun. But I honestly think it actually makes playing the Vampire Counts, like, relatively difficult, compared to how they used to play. Like, the Vampire Counts, in my opinion, are the easiest army to play. I think they have the easiest starting position, and the easiest campaign because of the raise dead mechanic, but that was before. Now that you can't just perma-res your guys when you're fighting anyone that's not Vampire Counts, because whatever you would do as a Vampire Count player, you'd always get into like a giant fight where both you and the enemy like annihilate each other. Are those Crypt Horrors? Yes, those are Crypt Horrors. Hey, Dire Pack, I've got a job for you. These guys are anti-large, which makes them really good against Crypt Horrors, which is good, because Crypt Horrors are going to absolutely wreck my zombies. I also need my Spearmen to deal with that. I'm actually going to send my Graveguard around, and we're going to send the Spearmen right for them. I really regret not putting my Spearmen in front. I should have looked at the enemy army. If I had looked, I would have put my Spearmen in front. Alright, here come the bats. Skeletons. Alright, corpse cart, stick over here for this fight. To buff those guys. Dire Pack. We got work to do. I'm gonna march those guys into the thick of it. Now I'm gonna run over here and take care of these bats. March these 2 units forward. Skeleton warriors, go after them. Zombies, I've got another job for you. Probably gonna get interrupted by the bats again. Ah, bats! Graveguard. Graveguard should win that fight easy peasy. Let's go ahead and start throwing down some magic. My Dire Pack are eating up those Fellbats, which is great. And we are pushing the Cryptors back pretty nicely. Those Spearmen are able to just chew them up and spit them out the other side.
We are dead.
Ghorst is doing a reasonable job. Make sure he stays active. The tithe is taking a little bit of a beating, but that's okay. Alright, we're gonna make sure, we're gonna pull our corpse card over. Get him into the thick of it. Go ahead and signal my wolves to chase down his wolves. I'm gonna wander into the back of these crypt ghouls here. Make myself useful. Got a couple of my units that aren't gonna survive what's coming. Okay, spears, stay on the crypt horrors. Skeleton warriors, fall back. That way, one danger that tends to be a big deal with Vampire Count armies is your armies tend to get really cluttered. That can happen a lot. I have not thrown any magic over here yet, so I'm going to do that next. So I'm going to come around back and charge into these crypt ghouls from behind to protect my corpse cart, which should break them pretty fast. If you guys are done, go help. We'll file one of these units to the back. Yeah, it amuses me to think, like, back in the days when there used to be a lot of complaints about armies clumping together, which definitely does not seem to be, like, the really ugly kind. This game, like when you play with vampire counts, you're gonna get really, like, bogged down forces of just everyone, like, smushing together, which I actually really enjoy about their gameplay, because a lot of armies won't do that. Like, dwarves can't pull that off because there's just not enough of them. All right, we're coming in here on this rear. Just gonna tear them up and collapse them. I might have time for one more spell. I don't think so. No, I'm gonna have time to cast. Nope, didn't even go off. Oh no, it did go off. But instead of getting any healing, I just blew a portion of Ghorst's health bar out. Oof. Had a direct counter to those. Well, not a direct counter, but an okay counter to those crypt ghouls, and they still managed to crypt horrors, and they still quite a bit of damage. You can tell these crypt ghouls got in on my zombies because they always get a ton of kills. All right, decisive victory for us, and we will occupy it to give me control of Eastern Sylvania, and that unlocks Morbid Reunion, which I will gladly take because it's fantastic. We're going to fuse a couple of these zombie units together and then get rid of this one. The rest of these will hang on. We'll also fuse some of the skeleton units. Because I'm hoping from that carnage we might be able to get a few... There we go. A few new units. Yeah, nothing great. And I'm going to run him over to Eschen. And hire some... Ooh. Oh, nice. Waldenhof has a thing. Great. That's awesome to see. I'll pick up another unit of direwolves and two... I don't think I want any bats in this. Yeah. You kind of have to have bats. We will have you raise the dead zombies. And then for our commandment, we will do growth and vampiric corruption. Righty-ho. So that's going to prevent him from getting aggressive with me. Said to be transcribed from the scrolls of Neferata herself, this grave codex instructs the recently sired vampires in the art of infiltrating influence and spreading the vampiric curse across the world. Oh, Neferata. I know many a person who is pining for her to be in the game. I think she could... there's a lot of cool things you could do with her, agent-wise. But you can't have Neferata without a... without the lawman mount. The Coven Throne. Gotta get that Coven Throne before you give me... I want a Neferata pack, but I want her to come with the Coven Throne. Because that would just about finish the Vampire Count roster. Also, I think it'd be cool if she could write it. She wasn't able to at Tabletop, but that's because they gave her a Dread Abyssal. Fear is the great motivator. The living within captured settlement must appease their new lord. Serve in life or in death. Quote from Vlad von Carstein. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and run this mission because it's pretty easy. I say that. No, yeah, we got this. I've got him grossly outnumbered. I just had to think about it for a second. Hellfin, a place Mannfred is not fond of for historical reasons, but these mortals pose no such threat. They are few in number, and while they have a strong position between two rocks, they can be flanked easily enough. It will not take long for these fools to join our unliving ranks. And he's got some Reichsguard, but I've got Direpack, who specialize in taking down Cav, and of course they can be backed up by even more Direwolves or the Felbats. So this should be a pretty easy fight. And I'm going to skip this intro because he doesn't talk during it, because only Mannfred has dialogue for it. Because it's a Mannfred-only questline, technically, but you know, every race has that, like, first quest battle they can get for free. But for a lot of them, for almost all of them, there's no dialogue. Oh, I just realized the Beastmen don't have one of these. The Beastmen only have their quest and then the Fall of Man, which is a Kazrak-only quest. So yeah, the Beastmen have it, but it's an in-game quest instead of a early-game quest, which I think is way better. Like, I think it would have been kind of cool if every race had an ending quest line, or an ending quest for their campaign. I don't know if it should necessarily be required, but, you know, that'd be cool if, like, for the Empire, you had to, like, strike at the heart of Chaos up in the Chaos Waste and, like, defeat Archaon. And for, like, the Dwarves, you have to, I don't know, maybe take back Black Crag in a really big eventful fight, or, you know, break the Greenskins once and for all at some, probably a cool thing would be if it was like a giant wall that was coming to wipe out the Dwarves and you had to do like a really big siege battle where you were defending. I think that would be cool and make it like actually difficult. If there's one thing that this game needs more of, it is quest battles that are not just fighting in the field. Like, some of them you take on a more defensive role, it's true, but I would really like to see some more quest battles, or any quest battles, where you have to, like, dynamically fight something really interesting. Alright, let's get this party rolling. Felbats, let's go! Wolves. I just want to catch his... I just want to get his Cav sooner rather than later. Oh yeah, this is actually kind of a cool moment where we can look at these two side by side. The Direpack are fewer in number, but you notice they are noticeably larger. And they're also less, like, wounded. We caught him in a great spot. He's caught in this swamp, which slowed down his speed and actually is going to hurt him as Cav. That being said, the Direpack is getting destroyed by these guys. Bats! Is Ghorst in range? He might be. Yes, he is. A little healing doesn't hurt. Come, my pretties! Really wish I had the armor-piercing variant of these, but I don't. That being said, it's 4-on-1, and one of these units is supposedly anti-large, so I'm hoping they can pull it out. The rest of this fight's going to be really straightforward. It's just going to be mindlessly slamming into them. I'm just going to worry about keeping these guys alive against the... Ow, ow, ow. There we go. That should power them through enough to end this fight. I'm going to actually pull out the Direpack and recharge them in. I think he's trying to focus them down. Alright, and the wider fight started, which is fine. I'll pay more attention to it in a moment. And then charge back in. We did not really successfully pull out of that engagement. Let's pull out this bat unit that's crumbling. Fucking Reichsguard. Alright. Ghorst, your positioning is concerning, but you're strong enough I'm not too worried about it. Alright. If y'all could stop crumbling for a moment. Or at least make yourselves useful before you die. I don't really care if I lose these guys. None of these units are particularly important to me. If anything, they're just doing their job of keeping the Reichsguard busy. I'm gonna pull some of these units off the sides so that I can do other things.
The night is ours.
A little healing. Alright. Y'all go take out those handgunners. The handgunners, please. Oof, they're knocking a lot of us over. Alright, these are zombies.
As long as we draw breath, they will die.
No, I actually can't fit around them. Gotta hand to those Reichsguard. They are tough. It's not gonna save them in the end, but they certainly put up a hell of a fight. Alright, let's pull you guys out. Fly around the back. Flap, 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 flap. Come on. We're gonna wait for the Reichsguard to re-engage. And we're gonna fly back in on them.
Helman Ghorst. It shall be done.
Where's that skeleton unit? Oh. Alright. Bats, get over here. I want you on those archers. Direwolves. You broke the Reichsguard, good job.
The power is mine.
Really wish I had some
Very well.
magic regen. Filling on this fight. Regular direwolves. Chase down these guys. Dire pack. Dire pack. Come around. And right into their rear. Yeah, their line is collapsing. Ooh. Haha! Weren't expecting us from behind, were you? How much region do they have left? Very little. I'm gonna regenerate myself. Because I think I'm important. Alright. That's pretty much everything. Dedicate a few units to sort of fill in the back of these guys. Come on. Preferably before the dire pack completely crumbles to dust. Ugh. Alright, that should be all of them. Yep. And the day is saved. Or, just, I guess? Maybe saved isn't the right word. Pretty good kills all across the board. The Tide did surprisingly well for zombies. So did the other zombie pack. Zombies reaching double digits is always kind of surprising. Corpse Guard. Corpse Guard's definitely a buff wagon. Not going to see a lot of kills from that unit. Alright, and we are definitely going to... I think we'll dominate. Definitely don't want to do the dark magic option. Gold Sigil Sword. This golden sword gives its user with a foresight and speed in combat that no mortal should ever have. Well, here you go. Stop! You do not get to call yourself Lichmaster, sir. That is not your title. That belongs to someone much better than you. I don't think we want Master of the Dead just yet. I think I'd rather take Awaken from the Grave, which is probably one of the best spells in the game right now. Alright, I'm going to retreat you to Drakenhof, and I'm going to retreat you to Eschen. The Necromancer, I do not find to be particularly useful in... Actually, that's not true. The Necromancer is actually a lot better now that he can ride corpse carts. I guess I'll put him with the Strigoi Ghoul King. I'm not really sure. I think I'd rather... yeah, that works, actually. So we'll start preparing this guy's army to actually, like, go out and do shit. I don't really think you need to recruit anything. We'll give you one more unit of bats. You, however, we will give some skeletons to, as we slowly start building up the Ghoul King's force. Because we definitely want to do a ton of fighting and raiding. The vampire counts, you want to go aggressive early game.
Now is not the time for petty politics, my brothers, my king.
No. No peace treaty for you. Alright, well, he got to Waldenhof anyway. I said I would fight every fight. Even if we're going to lose, we'll fight every fight. He must have ambushed. I didn't see him outside of there. But that's fine, because it means Dieter's going to be trapped in Waldenhof. And my guys are going to have regenerated a shitload of health. So if he wants to hold still so that I can go in there and surgically cut him out like a tumor, that's fine by me. We're not even going to bother with the formation because we're going to get destroyed. I will do what damage I can. Probably the best way to do that is to spread my army out into isolated fighting packs so that he cannot bring his superior numbers against me. Try and make him force where he's going to pick his fights. The only good news is I do have bats, and he has no answer to that, so I might be able to take out one of the corpse carts. That's my hope anyway. We're just going to speed up this battle a lot. But the corpse carts are really slow, and he's probably not going to do a very good job of protecting them. It's my understanding they're pretty bad at fighting. Whoa, look out. So we're just going to keep swooping in on this unit. Try and piss him off. Ah! And hey, you know, if that gets him to keep wasting magic, that's perfectly fine by me. Alright, go ahead and issue out some charges. I'm gonna bring in my fellbats on this other corpse cart. See if we can chew it up. I'm honestly curious about this because I think the fellbats have better. No, they have worse stats. They have way worse stats. There's just more of them. Alright, we'll come in over here. See if I can just do some morale damage. I'm trying to keep the Vampire Lord busy. The fellbats are kind of the only thing I have going for me. Just force this unit to crumble by recharging. Gotta get that sweet charge bonus. Which for them, for the fellbats is pretty negligible, but whatever, what you gonna do, right? Alright, I'm gonna fly over here. Into the back of these zombies. And we're gonna get wiped out. But we took a unit down with us. I'll take it. And all of our stuff just explodes. Yeah, we killed a third of his army. It's not bad. I mean, he's going to regenerate a buttload of them by the time I am able to attack him again. Actually, that might not be the case, because I forget that Ghorst gave me that 20% regeneration to casualty replenishment, which makes Ghorst pretty sexy, I'm not going to lie. He's definitely not as good of a support character as Kimmler is. Kimmler's the best support of the Vampire Count Generals, because he can get the fucking Skull Staff and the Chaos Tomb Blade. And he just sort of is like, oh, look, just money for days. Alright, so he attacked Waldenhof. Not a big deal. He didn't even take it, so, you know, it's not a huge loss for us. I'm not too worried about building garrisons right now. I will want garrisons all throughout Sylvania, but I don't need them at the moment. We are going to go ahead and hunt down Dieter and kill him. Just because he's, like, a huge pain in my ass right now. And I want him gone. Because once he's down, then we only have to deal with the main army. Led by von Kruger, which is still recovering from when I killed it with Ghorst. Alright, we got plenty of magic. I'm just gonna hop into a pretty generic formation. Okay, is there a better one than? Okay, no, they're pretty shitty, is what you're telling me. All right, I don't like that giant white frontage with vampire counts. I think that's not appropriate for their playstyle. If anything, you want like a spread out shape of a battle line. That way your guys like join in on the flanks and you get extra charging ranks of damage. Box formations, I think, are the best for vampire counts. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure there's somebody who's like played a shitload of multiplayer that's like, that's not even remotely true. You're terrible at this game. And I'd be like, yeah, well, shut up. School your ass to tabletop anytime. Anytime. So we're going to charge. Fellbats, we're just going to send straight to the back. Wolves, we are going to prey on his corpse carts and the rears of his formations. The only thing I don't like the corpse, like, I know the corpse cart, they're like, oh, spooky. I think this, like, big constant effect to have it has around it is really unnecessary. Like, I guess it makes the model look cool, but in my opinion, it distracts from the actual model and the animations, which are really intricate and cool looking. But it's kind of hard to focus on it because of the dark nimbus. It's a cool effect, don't get me wrong, I just think it's a little misplaced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overcast this to summon a White King to kill the vampire because I'm lazy. Actually, no, that's a huge waste of magic. I'm not going to do that. I probably won't even use the spell. I'm probably just going to save it for regen. But no one can do anything about my bats, which is great, so I can just get them in position to come in on those rear charges. Because they are better than zombies. Yeah, they are. Zombies have better armor, but that's it. And we're going to put the dire wolves up on this upper terrain so that they get that charge bonus coming from downhill. Or from downhill. Coming downhill. Not from downhill. And we've almost reached the battle line. I love how there's like a balefire lighthouse for some reason. It's just sort of, I guess it's a necromancer tower or something. But this is a really fun map. I actually really like this map with this huge swampland. It's not my favorite map to fight on with some armies, but like I fought on this map, I think with dwarves against chaos, and it was super helpful. Or no, I was playing vampire counts, and my ethereal units were able to just make so much use out of this swampland against chaos. Alright, so see, he's trying to get up here to fight my direwolves, but I'm not going to fight him. Because that's not advantageous. And I'm playing this fight to destroy him, not to, like, play nice. Definitely going to send in the Grave Guard. Let's see, does he have any skeletons? No, it just has zombies. Alright, go ahead and unleash the direwolves on this corpse cart. Start bringing around our fellbats on various units. And I am going to summon a unit of Grave Guard right underneath the Vampire Lord. Wait. Don't cast. The goal is to cast them underneath him so that he can't get away from them. There we go. And he will have to fight them, and they will probably kick his ass. Just because there's a lot of them, and there's just him. Graveguard come up beneath him, and just start putting in the work. And the good news is that keeps him out of the fight and distracted, and he's also going to take a ton of damage. But they're not actually a part of my army, so I'm going to take minimal casualties and still neutralize that pain in the butt. Alright, we're going to bring these guys around and issue them on the enemy corpse cart. Take that thing down. Take the buff wagon away from the enemy. I'm curious what a corpse guard does when it dies. I'm going to make sure to carefully watch that one. We're going to stay on him. Tell my main forces to engage the vampire. Send them on bats. And this fight's over. It's going to be too many charging units for him. He's probably going to break morale-wise. Alright, here's the corpse guard. Let's see what happens when it shatters. Its regen actually does a pretty good job of keeping it alive, so long as it doesn't get like completely shredded. Darn it. Huh. Didn't really do anything. It just sort of... Yeah. I was kind of hoping for something a little more explosive than that. I don't know, maybe because of how it died. I don't know. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. I'm hoping the animation isn't just like everybody on it vanishing. If so, that's kind of lame. Zacharias the Ever-Living. Quote from him. Today is a good day to be dead. I love Zacharias. I absolutely adore him. I was really hoping that he was the lord that was going to come out with this. Let's murder them for the leadership buff. Wailing Banner. The treasurer, while they started off as detestable nobles of Stirland, since becoming undead, the von Carsteins have accumulated great wealth. The treasurer is in charge of the master's vaults. Those who walk under the Wailing Banner know that their enemies will quiver in fear, for the dread face upon the banner wails and moans, instilling terror. Which, terror is actually pretty good for the vampire counts. Alright, I'll go ahead and put a point in Master of the Dead for some more of that regenerative ability. And we're going to head for Tempelhof. Alright. And then the Drakenhof guy... How are we doing here? Okay, I want to upgrade this. I'm going to save up some money. I should have enough guys in that army to attack Oakenhammer, so I'll probably do that pretty soon. Nope. I'm definitely going to war with you guys. But first things first. We've got Tempelhof. I don't have any siege attackers. Nope. Wailing Banner. Let's put that on my Doom Dire Pack, because they tend to be in that sort of position. Okay, we're going to need a battering ram and a buttload of towers.
Give them death!
It's probably going to actually take a while to take Tempelhof, but that's okay. 6 units versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Oh, that's only 5 units. Let's raise some bodies. That should be good enough. Alright, we're going to go ahead and declare war on Zufbar. And I'm going to go pay him a visit. Oh, you have to be kidding me. The orcs beat me to it? Ugh. I don't want to destroy it. That sucks. Fucking orcs. I just felt cheated of my own... stupid orcs. Now I'm mad.
Your prestige grows, my lord.
Yeah, whatever. Mannfred's influence must spread across all of Sylvania and beyond to the Empire itself if he is to realize his dread ambition of becoming the first and only eternal emperor. Before he can rule, a power base should be established and fresh troops risen for the challenge ahead. And then also spoils for, like a rotting corpse, this region is ripe for plunder. 800 if I just raid it? Damn, count me in. Good for you, you've got a job to do. It's not a very great job, but it's still a job. Alright, let's upgrade this first, this second, this third. And Tempelhof's still going to be a few turns off. It's probably going to take at least 6 turns to break through Tempelhof's defenses. He's coming out to play. But Tempelhof actually has a pretty good... we're going to retreat for now. I'm probably going to take out Fort Obsteir, and then I will go for Tempelhof, most likely. That dwarf army doesn't look too tough. But he's going to have the defense of Oakenhammer with him. Dang it. Alright, we're gonna skedaddle to Eschen. And I'm going to send you over here. And that should be good. Can I raise any interesting dead here? No, I cannot. And the gibbet is finished, which is awesome, because that's public order and finances. Gibbet. Alright, and that's also going to help quite a bit. No vampire has the right to exist, except our lord. Reap this lair and then destroy it with fire. Raise or sack Fort Obstire. Well, that's funny, because I was literally just about to do that. Alright, we will take Blood is Power, just because that's extremely helpful, and then we'll probably start moving into the other trees, depending on how our upgrades are looking. Alright, so we're going to take out Fort Obstire. We're going to sack it first, and then once it's been defeated, we'll probably heal up and then attack it again and occupy it, just to isolate Templehof. Templehof, I'm probably going to have to beef up my Ghoul King's army and then bring him over to help. And we'll just take it down with mass forces. Where is... There it is. Whoa, easy there. Don't accidentally make a mess. Alright, half, that's fine. This should be pretty straightforward. He's got a little bit larger of an army, but it's still pretty pathetic compared to mine. Alright, and that farmstead actually does not hurt my deployment, which is lucky for me. We definitely want these skeletons near the front for the crypt ghouls, or cryptors. I'm actually going to deploy them out on the side, and I'll rearrange them if I have to. Direwolves out to the side. Bats over here. Corpse Guard in the center, along with Ghorst. Alright, and where are the... Okay, they're on the right, so that's fine. My skeletons are in the correct position, as are my wolves. And we're going to go ahead and engage his bats with my bats. He does not have a lord, so he can't regenerate his guys. So I definitely have the advantage in that department. How are we doing on time? Oh, okay, this is going to be the last fight for today. Just looked at the time. So after this one, we will... we're not going to occupy it. We're only going to sack it, so we can get that quest objective. And then we'll be done for the day. You know, take care of a few managerial things, but that's about it. Silly me, I didn't realize we were running over on time already. Countercharge. Alright, all the bat units are fighting. They should be literally even. But I can turn the tide. Just a little tiny bit of help. Alright, we want to curve our line out a bit. Alright. Keep my corpse card on this side of things. Is that really as fast? Oh, okay. I was like, you have to have a run animation. There's no way you're just that slow. And my guys are losing pretty badly. I'm guessing it's because they don't have a general nearby. Either that or it's just completely random. It's hard to tell. Alright. Time to engage. And we're going to go ahead and summon up some Graveguard. Out. And not quite there. There, so that they can come in on a rear charge. Come on, zombies, get with it.
Helman Ghorst.
These bats are just about dead. 61, 57, 53, 30, and dead. Come help the other bats. I wonder, do this summoned units... Okay, so they actually don't have poison. The units I summon. Only the units that are a regular part of my army. Something interesting.
Helman Ghorst.
Alright, once we have won the air battle... My god, these Cryptors are taking 0 damage. And my direwolves should have won already. Yep, so we're gonna pull them around. Probably to help out with these guys. After them! Oh goody, the bats won. In we go. Seal the dire pack because I like them. Hopefully with them involved, the Cryptors will start to collapse. Yeah, they're going down. I think between the dire pack and the spearmen, we got them. Well, I'm sure the Grave Guard aren't hurting either. That being said, this has turned into a surprisingly long engagement, all things considered. Alright, that unit's gone. The Cryptors are running away. I don't think they made it very far. And decisive victory. Yeah, these direwolves did a number of my skeletons. They got in a rear charge and just tore them to pieces. Poor bastards. Cryptors did decent, but we definitely pulled one over on them. Overall, I'd say pretty solid performance by most everybody. Alright, loot gained, and then we will sack it.
On my way.
Awesome. Another treasure. Fencer's Blades. An enchanted duo of blades. One long, one short. Give the wearer a dazzling array of skillful moves to parry and deceive an opponent. Let's give that. Let's give that to our dear Strigoi Ghoul King, and we'll give him a treasure as well. Alright. And then I'll go ahead and get us set up for next time. We got this finished, so I can actually get him corpse guards. Some ghouls.
I am ready.
And you're just gonna... Nah, I'd actually rather... I would rather you return and heal up, and then we can return to assault him. Alright, cool. Alright, I'll go ahead and end my turn so that I can just start off next time. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Hope you guys... no peace treaty. You're going to die. I hope you all are enjoying the series so far. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time, which I believe tomorrow is Words of Chaos. So, hope you guys will enjoy what's coming. So, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.